Hi. Although Notepad is a very simple application, it is surprisingly rich and useful. And here we examine how and why and when to use it. Notepad is a text editor. That means it is an application that lets you key in, save, and modify text, as opposed to pictures, video, sound, or other data types. And in particular, Notepad is a plain text editor. That means there are no hidden markup indicators in the text, which also means all the text in a document has the same font style, size, weight, color, and so on. No text can be highlighted or emphasized, which is actually ideal for many situations, such as writing programming code, including HTML, style sheets, and more, creating lists, shopping lists, to-do lists, reminders, jotting down your great thoughts, or composing terrific poems or lyrics, or noting down internet links, passwords, general notes, and so on. So here's an example. Suppose you've decided to become a rock star, and you want a place to gather your notes and your thoughts and sort of organize the process. So you might do something like this. First, go to File Explorer and create a new folder. Let's call it Be a Rock Star. Okay, so now I've got that, and I'm going to create some files in there using Notepad. Now, since Notepad is in the taskbar, a single click brings it up, and I have this empty screen. And let's say first thing I want to do is put together a plan. So type in, when you hit the Enter key, you get a new line. If you want to have an extra space, hit the Enter key twice. Now, the plan is, let's say, to write some songs. That's a good part of the process. And then sing in bands. So we get to, well, maybe a band. Let's say sing in a band. And, oh, wait. Before I do that, then I guess I better get a band. So notice here, I bring the cursor to the end of the line and press Enter and insert a line that way. And form a band. So I want to sing in a band, and then we're going to be discovered, so we get an agent. And from then on, it's all golden. So that's my plan. Now I'm going to save it, and you say Save As. In that case, you need to fill in the name of the file and the directory where you want it to go. So you're positioned at file name, so I'm just going to say plan. Now where do I want to put it? Well, I want to put it in my new directory, which was Be a Rock Star. So there, I'm going to put it in Be a Rock Star under the name of plan, and it's a text document, so I can save. Notice it stays up there, and we'll leave it up there for a little while. But now I want to have another document. I better make a list of my contacts who can help me in the business. Now I want to open a new Notepad document. Since there's already one there, you'll notice there's a line at the bottom of the screen there. So if you right-click, you can open another Notepad document. Notice I've got two now, and this is going to be my contacts. Who do I already know that I can use to help me out? And I do remember Manny Places. He was a big help early in high school. And then there's Huey Laurie. I think that's how he spelled it. I'll have to look him up in the yearbook. And, oh yeah, Wilbur Found. So those guys all are helpful, and they have some knowledge about the business, the local venues to play in, and stuff like that. So I'm going to save that and save as, and I'm going to put it in the same directory. I'm already there now, and I'm going to call this my contacts sheet. And finally, start another file. Go to Notepad again. I like to space them out so you can see everything. And now let's think a little creative time. Let's think of what sort of songs I might write. So some song titles might help me get the creative juices flowing. Let's see, how about, oh yeah, Love Theme from Attila the Hun. That sounds like a promising number. Depends on what scene you're going for, I guess. Let's see, oh yeah, let's see, you and me and our 2.1 children. Ought to be a statistical hit. Let's see. Diamonds, a zircon for you, my semi-precious. Whoops. Okay, so I got that, and same thing. I'm going to do a save as, and I'm in the same library, and this is going to be called Song Titles. So save that. And for now, I'll just close them all, and we'll take a look at the File Explorer. And there's Be a Rockstar, and there's my 3 files. Well, not a bad start. Now, let's observe the impact of some of our earlier lectures. For example, I'm going to go back to the directory we created before, Be a Rockstar, and if I double-click on any of these file names, it opens that file name in Notepad. And that was because of the work we did to make sure the txt file name extension is mapped to Notepad. But now I want to preview something in the second course, something a little different. I want to build a website for my business. So I'm going to create a new folder, a new directory, and I'm going to call it BARS-website. BARS, Be a Rockstar, the acronym. So now I've got that, and I'm going to just minimize that, and I'm going to create a page or a file in that website directory. Now every website has a default page, a home page, and it's usually called index.html. So that's what we're going to be doing, creating index.html. So we start out with a doc type statement. And this is going to tell the browser, any browser that looks at it, that it is HTML version 5 features. And this is an HTML document, so we bound it with HTML and end HTML tags. And every HTML document has 2 major elements. A head, and we'll get that structure here. And the second element is the body. Body. And in the head, I'm going to put a title element. And this will show up in the title line of the browser. So it's going to be BARS website. And there's the end of the title. And in the body, I'm just going to put a header, so we'll call it H1 and how to become a rock star. Now here's the key. I'm going to save it as my default name, index.html. Now notice, because I specify the extension, it will not automatically add a .txt extension to the file name. And I'm in the right website, so now I can do a save. I'll close that, and going back to File Explorer, Be a Rockstar website, I'm going to double click, and you'll notice it opens this in my browser. And here's that title, and here, oh, I misspelled Rockstar. All right, so let's fix that. I go back, and now I right-click to open with Notepad. And that's the key to it all. So let me fix this. And now I'll do a save. And I can minimize that and double-click. And now it opens again. Now I've got the Rockstar fixed. So, double-clicking on a file name opens the default application, which in the case of HTML we saw was a browser. But right-clicking, I can open it with any application, although Notepad is what we're after here. And so that opens it up in that style. And I did want to point out that when we saw that error, we couldn't fix it here on the web page because the browser is just showing what's on the disk, the file that we've asked it to display. You had to go back to the source, fix it, and then you had to do a save so that that updated the file on disk, and then you can do a refresh on the browser page to catch the latest version. Now's a good time to explore the Save and Save As options on the File menu for Notepad, and these work the same for many other applications. If you start with a new file that hasn't been saved or given a name, then both Save and Save As present the same dialog. Asks you to specify the directory, so you navigate to the correct directory, as we did in the example. Then specify the file name, choose wisely as we've talked about, and include the extension if it's not txt. In some versions of Windows, you've needed to quote the entire file name if you did not want txt as an extension. For file type, you can specify either txt, the default, or all files. Again, in some versions of Windows, if the extension was not txt, instead of quoting the file name, it works to choose all files. Finally, what's the encoding? What bit patterns are used for characters? Choose the default of ANSI. Unless your data contain foreign characters, Japanese or Korean sort of thing, then choose UTF-8. If you're editing existing files, then Save updates that file on disk using the current directory, file name, file type, and encoding, logically overwriting the existing file. Whereas Save As allows you to assign a new directory, file name, file type, and encoding. And here's a tip. This allows you to set up a model for a starter, then save a modified version for different situations. Let's look at an example. So let's suppose in my website I want to build a web page for each of the venues, each of the locations where we perform. So I might create a model venue file, modelvenue.txt. And then when I find out about a new venue or I get a job, I open that. And you can see that it is an HTML type file, even though the extension is txt. Now, I'm going to update that. Let's suppose this is going to be Billy's Bar. So I put that in the browser title and also on the first line of the page. And what I've done here is I've put 2 asterisks every place I think things should be updated or changed. Now let's say the address is 1234 Melody Lane, and the city is Denver, and the state is CO, and the zip, let's say, is 80222. Now my primary contact is Billy Budd, and his phone number is 3. And his email is billy@billysbar.com. Now notes on playing here, let's say we have a great sound system. Okay, so I got the information for this venue, and now I'm going to do a Save As, so I can save it under a different file name. And I'll call this billysbar.html. Then I'll close that. And you'll notice now in my directory I've got Billy's Bar, the web page, and I still have modelvenue.txt, and it's unchanged. So that's a cool trick, that you can have this model and change it and always save the changed version under a different name, so you can reuse the model again and again. In this video, we've demonstrated how to get one or more Notepad documents started, how to enter text, including blank lines, and how to use the Save and Save As options of the File menu. We also demonstrated the trick of using a model file to start with, and then edit that file and save it under a different name. In the next video, we explore the format choices of word wrap and the many faces of font, as well as the View menu item. In the final video of this session, we demonstrate many ways to edit a Notepad file, including the use of keyboard shortcuts to make you more effective. See you there.